Hey there, it's Josh Damon, and I am very excited about today's episode because I am going to talk about how you can solidify your purchase contracts with your buyers and your assignments to your buyers to make sure that when you have a deal, you have a deal and you don't have to wait on, oh, are they going to deposit earnest money, or, oh, are they going to jerk me around, etc., etc. So if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button below because we leave constant videos about wholesale real estate, and we talk all about how you can do more deals, make more money, and create the life of your dreams being free through real estate investing. All right, so guys, I just recently saw a comment on a Facebook page recently, and somebody was talking about filing a memorandum of contract. Now, a memorandum of contract, what that is when you sign a contract with a seller, it's basically recording with the county that you have an agreement to buy that property. Okay, so this means if they try to sell it to somebody else and that person checks the title or the title report, or the escrow company or the closing attorney checks the title report, they're going to see this recorded document and they're going to say, hey, there's a problem here. Somebody else is saying has recorded their interest. So essentially the memorandum records your interest in the property, even though you haven't actually closed yet, and it protects you. Most closing companies and attorneys, they're not going to close an escrow until that's resolved. So a lot of times, if a seller wants to back out of a deal, the investor will go and record the memorandum and say, well, hold on, you can't back out of the deal. And that will keep them from selling it to somebody else. And then they will either try to continue to close on that transaction, or they might tell the seller, hey, I'll release my memorandum so you can sell it to somebody else, but you need to pay me X, Y, Z. And they might settle that way. And they were trying to file a memorandum, but they had a digital signature on their purchase contract with the seller. They had used DocuSign instead of wet ink. And when they took it down to the county to record the memorandum, the county said, no, we will not record memorandums if it's an electronic signature. We need a wet signature, wet ink, meaning it was signed with a pen. And so the person here on Facebook, they were saying, how do I get it recorded if this is the case? And my comment on that chain was, hire an attorney and sue the seller for specific performance. And I couldn't believe it. There was multiple people that actually were like, one person was like, are you serious? Oh my gosh. And then another person laughed at the comment, and I'm thinking, that's so naive. Now, some people might say that's overkill. You're gonna sue a seller because they won't move forward with the deal. And I would say, well, absolutely, I'm gonna protect myself. If I've got a contract and that contract is valuable, it's gold. Okay, it's literally, you can turn that contract into cash, and a lot of times a lot of cash. Why would I just back off? Or even why would I just file a memorandum and just hope something changes when I can push the matter forward and turn my contract into money and get paid, which is why we come to the business every day, right? We talk to sellers, we send out our marketing, we talk to sellers. Our goal is to make money. Why wouldn't we protect ourselves? So there's a couple points here. The first one is that you have to protect yourself. Now, I want to tell a quick story. This was about 5 years ago. I had a deal in which the mother had passed away and it had gone down to the daughter, and the daughter was selling me the house, and I locked up the purchase contract, took pictures. The next day I sent the property out and I sold it, and it was a $40,000 assignment. Okay, so we're in escrow. We're supposed to close in 2 weeks. I'm going to make $40,000. I'm all excited. Seller calls me back and says, oh my gosh, my nephew found out I was selling the house. He would like to buy it. And so, can we back out of this deal because he wants to buy it? And I thought, being the nice person I am, that I was doing the right thing by letting them out of the purchase contract. And it was about a month or two later, I don't even remember why, but for some reason I thought, I'm just gonna check on that property, see if anything's happened. And I punched it in the tax records, and I saw that the property had sold about a week after I released my contract to another investment company for $10,000 more. And I learned a couple things. One thing I learned is to dig a little further when somebody wants to back out, because maybe I could have just paid them an extra 10 grand. They would have been happy. We still would have made 30,000. Okay. But the other thing I learned is that sellers and buyers and everybody in the world sometimes is not honest, or anybody has the ability to be dishonest, and you have to protect yourself. So I gave up literally $40,000 of equity on this deal thinking I was doing the right thing, and I got screwed over. Okay, and that was a learning experience for me. So since then, over the years, every time we have a seller that wants to back out, we immediately hand it off to our attorney. They do their job. Okay, so you need to have a real estate attorney if you're in this business. It's not a matter of if you'll have problems, it's a matter of when you'll have problems. Okay, just like rental properties are no different. So you need to have good legal counsel. And so that's the main point. And we just closed a deal right now. Responded to my attorney. He asked me if I would sign off on a settlement. Now, in this circumstance, what happened is this was actually a deal that we owned, and we put it on the market to sell it. And this was actually went through the MLS, and because we already owned this property, and we got an offer first weekend that it hit the market. And in this offer, they wanted like a 5-day inspection period. And we countered offered them, and we said, no inspections. If you want it, $5,000 non-refundable earnest money for any reason. They agreed to it. They didn't deposit the earnest money. One day goes by, I'm calling the agent, hey, where's earnest money? Second day goes by, what's going on? Third day, finally the agent calls me back. She goes, oh, the buyer twisted his ankle. He doesn't want to do the deal anymore. I said, well, there's no contingencies in this. Now, a lot of people would stop right there and they would say, well, they never deposited earnest money, it's over. I didn't do that. I handed it off to my attorney. I said, hey, here's the contract. Can we file? So I handed it to my attorney. He actually, and here's the tricky part, the buyer contact info was never on the purchase contract because it was through a realtor. So had the realtor's contact info, but she wouldn't give us his address. And we thought we had his address. We found a property here in Maricopa County that had his name on it. Turns out he didn't live there. So they tried to serve him there. He wasn't there. They ended up skip tracing him. And my attorney actually charged me $75 for that skip trace. Now we do skip tracing all the time in our office, obviously for our marketing, but this was different. I wanted to make sure they got him. They were actually able to find the address that his driver's license was attached to, and it was in another state. It was in Minnesota. So they had a process server in Minnesota serve him, and his wife answered, and she refused to give her name, so they served her anyways. And literally it said like handed to Jane Doe, who claims not to know him, but we're pretty sure it's his wife. And they like literally had a physical description. It was like about 5'5", brown hair, whatever. And I was like, that's interesting. And then all of a sudden yesterday, my attorney gets an email from that guy's attorney, and they offered to settle for $2,000. My attorney immediately, he just CC'd me on the response. He said, no, there's $5,000 was the contract. And we feel that a judge very may well rule that your client needs to pay us the $5,000 plus attorney costs, etc. And there could be more damages, because my attorney said, look, this changed the whole strategy of our owner and what he had to do with the property, because you guys signed this contract, it went pending, and then you guys did what you did and breached the contract. So that was yesterday. Today, my attorney, he just emailed me and said that they have offered $5,000 now to settle. Do I want to accept it? Now at this point, I'm about $1,100 into this matter with my attorney. When it's all said and done, after he drafts up the agreement and sends it over to them, I might be in at $1,500. Okay, he's a good attorney and he's not cheap, over $300 an hour. But was it worth it to make a couple calls, send it to my attorney, let him work on it while I sit here and work more real estate deals and do more deals and make more money that way, let him do his thing? And was it worth it to pay him $1,500 and get $5,000? Absolutely. Why not? Now, that's just one circumstance. Now, that was not really a wholesale deal. It was one of my rental properties we were selling. But in my assignment, I also have a clause that says as soon as you sign this assignment as the buyer, if you fail to deposit earnest money or if you fail to close for any reason, you are agreeing to $10,000 in liquidated damages. So a lot of people out there, they think, I don't really have a deal until the buyer deposits the earnest money. Well, with my contract, that's not the case. And I've had a lot of investors that I've told this about that, same thing. They're like, what? Seriously? That wouldn't work. And I can't tell you how many deals buyers have tried to back out. And because of that clause, they said, screw it, let's just close. It's not worth risking, because at a minimum, they're going to have to pay an attorney to try to fight this. And most attorneys are going to say, hey, you signed this contract, we're probably not going to win if it goes to court. Okay, so guys, in my experience, most deals, whether it's the seller trying to back out, buyer trying to back out, etc., if you protect yourself with an attorney, usually it's going to end up in a settlement. I can think of 2 deals off the top of my head in the last couple of years where one deal was a $20,000 deal. Seller wanted to back out like the next day. We ended up, we originally probably would have made like $25,000. We were about $5,000 into our attorney on that one, but we ended up getting it settled and we were able to buy the house and we made 20 grand. Another deal, we made $50,000 on. Okay, and we might have made 60 on it. Okay, but that one I spent the better part of $10,000 with my attorney, and then ended up getting the deal, and we made about 50,000. Now, we could have pushed the seller, kept going in litigation and said, no, we want our attorney fees, etc. So I would have made the deal plus got my attorney fees back. But usually, like I said, usually it's going to end up in a settlement. But you want to have those strong things in your contract to make it a strong deal. So my point of this video, guys, is don't have limiting beliefs saying, no, I can't do that, or no, that's too harsh, or no, that's right. This is a business, okay? Contracts mean something. When someone signs a contract saying they're going to do something, the law states that they have to do that. It's contract law. Okay, so have good contracts, have good legal counsel, and ultimately, guys, protect yourself. Okay, let me know your thoughts on this video down in the comments. If you've gotten some out of this, please smash that like button. Again, make sure you hit subscribe. Guys, if you want more nuggets, if you want my purchase contracts, templates, scripts, etc., go to therealestatecode.com, okay? And you can literally get my course. It's probably 20, 30 hours of me teaching everything from marketing to sales to disposition to trackers and scorecards and everything I do in my business, okay? And you can crush it in wholesale. So if you're trying to get started in wholesale, this is the best way to do it, is to join the Real Estate Code. If you're already in wholesale and you're looking to scale and do more deals, then you want to jump into it. So again, it's therealestatecode.com. Jump into that. It's fantastic. And I will see you guys here in the next video.